Okay, good afternoon to Norbuilt Oval, where we are about to watch the NTFL Men's Premier League game between Southern Districts and St Mary's. I'm Colleen Gwynn, and with me is Stu Davis. This looks like going to be a great contest here, Stu. Southern Districts sitting 5th and St Mary's 4th. Both teams in very good form at the moment.
Yeah, really important game. Last game before Christmas. Southern Districts looking to cement their place in the top 5, and if Saints win, they'll be in the top 3 at Christmas. So, crucial game for both sides as the game gets underway. And Saints with the first clearance through Jellyman Turner out in front of Nick Yarran. Yarran with the ball in front of him. He's got Michael Bowden hot on his tail, and Lockie Taylor comes in to support, but the ball's forced over the boundary line for a throw-in.
Yeah, you just called Michael Bowden. His brother is also playing today, and Connor Bowden. Both of them playing some good footy. I know Michael's probably the best season we've seen him play.
Definitely.
Both brothers in good form for Southern Districts.
So from the throw-in, the two big fellas do contest. Paddy Gallo reaches over the top, and Schwartz gets a hand pass out here looking for Bull, who couldn't control it. But Dylan Lant for St Mary's swings the ball down towards half forward. There's a bit of a pack of players down there, and Lant follows up again, kicks high into the full forward area. Calder gets his hands to the ball, but it's knocked away. And there's a free kick found here, and it's going Southern District's way in defence. I think that's Driscoll back there who'll take the free kick. He's got the job on Calder today, and wobbles one forward, but falls into the hands of Gallo, who plays on by hand to Schwartz. Schwartz chips it along the near side wing here, looking for Harry McGuinness, but just didn't get as far as him and bounced out of bounds, and a boundary throw in right on the centre wing here. So Gallo and Ryan Smith, that'll be a great contest all day in the ruck, and interesting to see who can come out on top. Smith this time wins the hit out down in front of Jellyman Turner. Doesn't take possession of the ball. Schwartz is hot on his tail. He picks it up and he's tackled by Lant. Almost dragged it back in then, but play on's the call as the ball's close to the boundary line. Gallo picks it up and gets bumped over the line, and it'll be a boundary throw in, and a bit of chat between the players already, and Gallo goes back to contest the boundary throw in. So Smith over the back tries to take it. Josiah Farah comes in, sweeping across the back, and picks up, kicks down towards half forward. The ball's punched away, taken there by Ganley on the left. Chips the ball in, and McGuinness is on the end of this one for Southern Districts, and he'll have a set shot for goal from about 40 metres out directly in front. So some pretty good work by Districts working the ball from that stoppage, and Josiah Farah just in the right place at the right time. Made position well, Colleen.
Yeah, Farah, very important player for Southern Districts. So he missed a week through suspension. They'll be happy to have him back, and you can see just how useful he is with ball in hand.
So McGuinness's kick on goal looks pretty good. It's gone straight through the middle. So first blood to Southern Districts in this round 12 game at Norbuilt Oval, and his teammates get around him as you'd expect, and they'll be happy to score the first goal of the game against, as we said, a St Mary's side who's running pretty hot at the moment.
Yeah, it's St Mary's have had some good form. They won over Waratahs last week, and unfortunately through that win they did lose Jacob Long through suspension, and you know, he's a really important part of their back line. Let's see if they can fill that hole left by him today.
Yeah, Southern District's got a couple out themselves with a concussion. Jake McQueen and Brandon Rusker had some friendly fire last week and both missed this week. So yeah, but Saints from the stoppage. It's Salmon involved early. He swings around, kicks the ball down, looking for Calder again. Driscoll again right on his tail, and he wins the possession again, gets it across here. Schwartz sweeps a hand pass out, but that's a dangerous one. Dylan Lant came across and chopped it off before he got tackled with the ball. The ball's loose in the forward line now, and Saints an opportunity through the hands to Nigel Lockyer, and Lockyer finishes that one. And yeah, just a bit too risky in defence, Southern Districts then, trying to just be a bit cute coming out, I think, and Saints were all over it, and Nigel Lockyer finishes it.
Yeah, Nigel Lockyer, his game last week was outstanding. He's a absolute talent. His elevation is quite incredible. They really have to not allow him any room down there. They will pay for it if they do.
That's right, and of course they've got the twin guns with Jackson Calder down there as well. So yeah, plenty of work for the District's defence to do with those two deep forward. But Districts win the clearance with a kick off the ground, but it's chopped off by Kieran Parnell in defence for Saints. He plays on straight away, straight up the middle of the ground, and he finds Dylan Lant. Lant goes off straight away. Calder out in front again, gets the ball knocked away from him. Hand pass comes out, but Shannon Rioli's on the end of it now, shrugs the tackle off, kicks the ball inside forward 50, and he finds Salmon out in front in a bit of space, and the kick was good. He didn't have to break stride, just ran onto it and took the mark about 25 out on a pretty acute sort of angle, but certainly kickable from there.
Shannon Rioli, so strong, isn't he? And he just knows where to put the ball. He's just got enormous experience.
So Salmon's kick on the way. Looks like that one's drifting across the face, and only a behind this time. So Saints take the lead. We've got a scoreboard out of action by the looks. It was okay in the women's game, but it's gone for this game, unfortunately, so that'll make it difficult for us. But anyway, it's Michael Bowden to bring the ball back in for Southern Districts, and he brings the ball to the near side of the ground. Geordie Cullen trying to chop that one off, couldn't get his hand to the ball, and it bounces over the boundary line for a throw in as Ryan Smith tags out, and the second ruckman, Jake Tower, comes in to do battle this time. So just waiting for the restart here. The boundary throw in comes, and just trying to dodge past the water runner standing in front of me, but ball's caught up underneath, and we'll have a ball up.
Steamy conditions out here, Stu, at Norbuilt. Very challenging conditions.
Quick kick forward by Paredes for St Mary's. There's a free kick here. It's a holding free kick. It's going Southern District's way. And I'll bring the ball out of defence. Toa's involved here, gets a hand to the ball. It slips over the back. Dylan Lance first there, picks up cleanly, shrugs off the tackle, and then chips the ball along the wing. But ball on the ground now. Paredes picks up, hand passes inboard. It went behind his teammate Taylor actually, but Paredes is in there again. Gets the hand pass out to Holner. Holner kicks forward, and now running onto the ball for St Mary's is Braith Hodges, who kicks the ball down towards half forward, but that one's just gone too wide and out of bounds on the full. So ball back into play. Saints have got plenty of players here, and there's no easy possession for Districts down there as the pack of players forms again and the ball's stuck underneath, so we'll have another stoppage.
The other thing we see this time of year is we have some of our young players come back to town from university, and certainly with St Mary's today they've got young Xavier Vallejo and Braith Hodges in, two really big inclusions, youth, but certainly can hold their own at this level. Yeah,
that's right, and happy to have them. And Toa gets the hand pass out to Jellyman Turner. He kicks that one across the boot, and inside forward 50, Nick Yarran's in there, scoops it up and gets a hand pass out, and Ted Castle runs onto this one. He's another one that's come back from school, I think, Colleen, for St Mary's, and sees the ball out of bounds. He's played last week, so a couple of games for him, but he was an important player for them last season, and they'll be happy to have him back as well. So
yeah, he's a ripper. He's a real talent.
So from the throw-in, it's Dylan Barry who gets the clearance for Southern Districts. That's gone straight to the boundary line and over. Be interesting to see the umpire's call. He says that's all okay, and it'll be a boundary throw-in. Imagine if that was in the AFL, it might have been a free kick.
Yeah. 9 out of 10 times, I think. I think the umpires take a bit more pragmatic approach to it here, I think. But,
So from that boundary throw-in, chopping across for Districts there was Rowan Bailey, and now Bailey again gets the ball, kicks down towards centre half forward. The mark's taken there by Ganley. He plays on quickly. He's got a player in some space down there in Lee Williams, who's under some pressure now and just loses his footing over the ball, and it's forced over the boundary line, in fact, and it'll be a boundary throw in right next to the behind post in Southern District's left forward pocket. Yeah,
District certainly had a lot more time than what they thought, and rushed that kick a little bit, and the execution was not quite there.
So it's McGuinness doing the ruck work for Districts down there up against Toa. Toa pretty well uncontested in the end, but the field umpire didn't like the throw in and wants the boundary umpire to have another go at it. So the players set themselves again. They are pretty deep away from the boundary umpire. This time it's a more even throw, and Saints trying to work it out of defence. Salmon's down there. Braxton Armat gets a hand pass across to Salmon, who's got a bit of space. He runs now, has a bounce, and now kicks along the outer wing, but this one's going to be chopped off by Michael Bowden down there, and he's just looking at what he's got forward. Chips the ball in here to Ross. Jonathan Ross kicks high to the advantage of his teammate here. Big Lee Williams it is, and he had no problem there against Braxton Armat. Ball was kicked to his advantage side and used his body well, and big tall player, and took the ball at its highest point, and he'll go back for a set shot at goal.
Yeah, and of course Williams is from Norwood in the Eastern District League. He's kicked over 700 career goals, Stu, so I'd probably back him here.
Yeah, although he's had some kicking problems this season. He's played 4 or 5 games for Districts, and I think he went one stage where he kicked about 9 behinds without a goal. So just got the yips a little bit, and he's missed that one, unfortunately, for Districts. And Saints bring it away. Kieran Parnell chips it to Hodges in the back pocket, and Paredes shouting for the ball here on the wing, but Hodges has hooked that one too far, and it's out of bounds on the full. And it'll be the big fella McGuinness who'll take the mark, but free kick, but his kick's a shocker. And Toa chipped in, hand pass off to Jellyman Turner. They're trying to work it through the hands here under plenty of pressure. Valojo got the hand pass across, but that was chopped off, and now Ganley again gets a kick in. Good defensive work down there by Salmon. Got the hand in it, and Dylan Barry took the ball, had a bounce, picked up again, and then got tackled by Salmon. So a couple of efforts by Joseph Salmon, and he's rewarded with the free kick. So it's good work working back across half-back, although that's not the tidiest of kicks. Big fella gets in there in Gallo, but couldn't take the mark. Districts again trying to work it out through the hands. Ganley's tackled with the ball, and Nick Yaron in over the top, as well as Big Toa, and it'll be a ball up once again. So Toa uses the body, but Gallo gets the hit out. Ross with a quick kick forward. This one's chopped off in defence down there by Holner. Called to play on. He chips wide. Dylan Barry's involved again. He gets tackled straight away. Gee, there's no easy touches out there as Holner gets the hand pass forward, and now Paredes gets it out, and through the hands the ball ends up with Hodges, who kicks out wide and finds his teammate Brown on the outer wing. Brown chips it around the wing to his skipper Paredes, who's got a bit of space now, and he plays on, kicks the ball down towards half forward. But Districts have got some numbers back there. Strong tackle defensively, and just trying to pick up who that was, but play on's the call anyway, and Saints have taken the advantage and kicked forward, and Dylan Lance got on the end of this one. He's taken the mark inside forward 50, and going back with every indication that he's going to have a set shot at goal from out there on the outer side.
Yeah, definitely a contested game. I think that last bit of play was probably the only play that we've had that hasn't been fully contested. So St Mary's finding a bit of room on the outside and getting rewarded for it and getting into their 50.
So Dylan Lant comes in now. Kick on the way. It's his teammates are clapping down there. It's straight through the middle, and a great finish. And of course, Dylan Lant was fantastic for him all of last season. He's only just come back into the side after having a season in the SANFL with Glenelg this year, and I think he's played the last 3 games for St Mary's now. So a really important inclusion for them.
Yeah, he was one of the important players for the Tigers down in Adelaide, and big raps on him down there, and I'm sure Saints were happy to see him back in town.
And of course, probably kick-started his opportunity with Glenelg playing in the rep side last year against Glenelg in the Australia Day game, and that's coming around again, Colleen, and we're excited that that's coming up in late January, and plenty of players out here putting their hand up for inclusion in that side.
Yeah, absolutely. May be able to talk a bit more about that as the game goes on, Stu.
Certainly. So Smith and Gallo once again. Smith gets it down this time. Lant again with the clearance. Salmon there at half forward, but he's under plenty of pressure down there from young Bowstead for Districts. But Saints work it through. Shannon Rioli on the end of this one now. Kicks looking for Calder. Calder stretches and takes a good mark over the top there of Fraser Driscoll. And Calder with probably his first possession for the day, but they've looked for him a few times. Driscoll's been up to the job so far, but that one, the kick was just too good, and he could reach up and take the mark. He's got the height advantage over Driscoll, but Driscoll's a tough competitor. So Calder now only about 30 metres out. His kick's on the way. He likes it. His teammates like it. Straight through the middle once again. So after Districts kicked the first goal of the game, Saints have hit back and kicked the next three, and just given themselves a little bit of a lead as we approach time on in this first quarter.
Jackson Calder, we know, is a prolific goal forward, and sitting on 31 goals this year. He's actually kept goalless last week, Stu, and I don't think I've seen that. So I think he'd be pretty happy to get a goal on the board, and yeah, he's just that real traditional forward, leads up, always takes the mark, and you rarely see Jackson Calder miss. So he'll be happy to get the first goal on the board for the day.
So Gallo up high this time, and it's a free kick against Smith. It's going Gallo's way. Smith, I think, thinks he's got it, but it was a blocking free kick, and fair enough. Smith just stepping across the line and blocking Gallo's run at the ball. It's a high ball down towards centre half forward off the hands of the pack. Kieran Parnell does well, gets a hand pass across there to Lant. Lant by hand out wide to Paredes, and he's got Lockie Taylor running down the outer side of the ground. He's had a couple of bounces already, and now chips the ball back in towards half forward, back inside the corridor. Calder's on the end of this, paddles it in front of himself. Dylan Lant sends out a red hot hand pass, missed the target, and Salmon working hard over the top of the ball again. He's wrapped up by a couple of Districts players here. He might be in trouble. I think he is, probably unlucky, but he did drag the ball in, and that's the way they pay it. And Driscoll takes the free kick, and Bo Schwartz for Southern Districts has Josiah Farrer in some space. He chips the ball in here, and it's marked by Rowan Bailey. Bailey swings around with a chip kick, and Bowden takes the mark. Connor Bowden, ball just covered the required distance. Bowden inside forward 50 once again, and again it's Lee Williams with those long arms, and Braxton Armatt's got his hands full today. He's outsized by Williams, and he's a strong mark. He just needs to be on target with his kicking to be a real headache for St Mary's down forward there.
So we were expecting a shootout today, Stu, between Jonathan Ross of Districts and Calder, but it looks like Ross is feeding the ball at the moment into the 50. So
yeah. So Williams this time kick looks a bit better. He's got this one inside the goalpost this time, and that's what they were looking for. And they hit back and narrow the margin. So a good forward entry again by Southern Districts, and he's a big unit up forward with a long stretch, and he's going to be hard to stop.
Yeah, I'd like to see some statistics on the tallest side, because I think looking at Districts, they have a lot of tall players. I'd like to see the average. I think they would be probably number one in the competition. They've really got some size from the ruck down back. They have some size down there in the forward line. They've got 2 or 3 big guys. So, yeah, it works. I think in these conditions, sometimes when it's a bit wet, you want some smaller players, but yeah, they've definitely got some size out there.
So Smith this time does a bit of fancy footwork in the ruck and got his hand to the ball, and Paredes hacks it out of there to the advantage of Shannon Rioli, but District's defenders working back, and eventually it gets into the hands of Michael Bowden, who swings around, gets a hand pass over the top. Dylan Barry picks it up on the bounce and thumps it out of defence out to the outer wing. Lockie Taylor was tracking the ball, but just couldn't stop it from going out of bounds. It bounced in front of him and over the boundary line for a throw-in. So he looks a bit disappointed. He was hoping to take advantage of that loose kick coming out, but couldn't do so. And it's a boundary throw-in on the outer wing. Smith and Gallo. Smith in front this time, and Saints, the clearance through Lant. Shannon Rioli in front, takes the ball, plays on straight away, gets a hand pass out to Salmon out there. It comes back to Rioli, who swings back around and finds himself some space, kicks in towards half forward. Oh, a marking contest there. Ted Castle did some good work, but just couldn't find his teammate, and the thumping kick by Ethan Maney out of defence for Districts goes straight down the middle of the ground. No mark taken, and the ball's loose in the centre square. As again, some strong tackling, and gee, you don't want to fumble because they're straight on top of you if you do. And we'll have another ball up here in the centre square. So from the restart, Smith in front, didn't get much of a hit on that. Paredes is on the end of this one. Hand passes forward looking for Lant, but Yaron comes in support. Almost got dragged over the shoulder. Play on's the call. Yaron hand passes on the scoop up. Labastida gets a hand pass back to Yaron. He chips in, and Ted Castle takes it nicely on the half volley, chips the ball forward, and he finds Paredes inside forward 50, who's worked down from that centre square contest into the forward line to get on the end of that one, and takes the mark at ankle height, and he'll go back and have a set shot for goal. And he's had some season again this year, Colleen. Yeah,
Paredes, I'd love to see what sort of distance he does in a game. His work rate is incredible.
Yeah.
And he just covers a lot of ground. He's smart with his running patterns and gets plenty of it. And you see him in the last quarter, he still seems to have that. He must have an amazing tank, because his impact on the game for 4 quarters is really incredible.
That's right, and he's hard in and under as well. Yep. So you know he must be really fit. But unfortunately, his shot at goal missed to the left-hand side, and a behind only. And Michael Bowden brings the ball back into play. He kicks long down the outer wing. The ball's thumped forward. Labastida's involved again, gets a hand pass forward to Salmon. Salmon takes off with a bounce and kicks long towards goal, but just missing to the near side. So we've got the scoreboard up and working again, fortunately, and that shows that Saints have got an 8-point lead as we come towards the end of this first quarter. And Districts bring the ball back into play. Dylan Lant again involved. Got in the contest, punched the ball forward, but the ball's found its way over the boundary line. It'll be a boundary throw in at half forward for St Mary's on the near side of the ground. So there have been plenty of stoppages, but it's been that sort of game, contested ball game, and again, Districts looking to work the ball out of defence. A quick kick by Maney down here, but Braith Hodges read that one best and takes the mark over the top. He's just slowing things down now. He had an option back, but decides to go forward instead towards half forward. And gee, the ground just opened up for Salmon then, and took an uncontested mark. Chips the ball inside forward 50, and reaching over the top was Driscoll, and just copped him over the shoulder, and that's Dylan Lant again, who receives the free kick this time. And we've seen him kick one set shot goal from the outer side of the ground. This one's a bit better angle, maybe a touch further out, but he's going back again, pretty confident that he can do the job here.
Salmon's got plenty of it the first quarter, Stu.
Yeah, which is encouraging for Saints, because he's just come back the last few weeks and probably just building himself in. So the siren's gone here, so Dylan Lant's kick is after the siren, and an important kick on the quarter time siren is... Kick's on the way. It looks pretty good. It's going all the way straight through, and that's a real team lifter at quarter time as Saints kick their fourth goal, and a good start to the game for them after Districts were on the board early. But a good contest, good contested footy, and yeah, that's hopefully that'll be the pattern of play for the rest of the game, Colleen.
Yeah. So the end of the first quarter, we've got the Crocs 2-1-13. and Saints leading 4-3-27. We'll be back for the second quarter soon. Welcome back to the second quarter of the NTFL Men's Premier League coverage. The games between Southern Districts and St Mary's. A really good first quarter, Stu. A lot of contested footy. And what did we say at quarter time? God, it's hard. It's hard in there. They are going in hard. And I think what you said before, there's big stakes on this game. They've really, both teams really got to win this. Yeah,
that's right. And we're right next to the Southern District coaches box here, and not too much animation there. They're pretty controlled, and Shannon Rusker and Richard Tambling helping out Matty Cannard. But yeah, pretty controlled. They're obviously pleased that they're in the contest, and there's not too much in it on the scoreboard. So be interesting to see how this second quarter pans out as we're underway, and a clearance there by Will Rowlands for Southern Districts, but through the hands, St Mary's across half-back, get it to Parnell. He chips out wide to Jellyman Turner, and Jellyman Turner kicks down towards half-forward now through the hands of Salmon, but he recovers well and gets a kick inside forward 50. It slips over the back where Bowden takes it off hands, and again he's under plenty of pressure straight away. Driscoll gets an interesting hand pass over the top to no one in particular, and St Mary's swoop on it through Tedcastle, through the hands, across to Calder, and through for the opening goal of the quarter. So yeah, Fraser Driscoll, I don't know if he thought he saw something out the corner of his eye, but there was no Southern District player out there, and Tedcastle just swooped on it, and good team play, got it across to Calder in the goal square for a goal. Yeah,
I thought he could have just really kicked for goal in that situation. I thought it was pretty high risk what he did, but kick for clearance.
Yeah.
But to handball over there is probably wouldn't be. I can't see the coach being too happy about that decision.
It just looked like a bit of panic, didn't it? As the players were around him, but not the start that Districts would have been looking for in this second quarter, and they'll look to reload again from this centre stoppage. Gallows up high early and misses the ball, and Saints win the clearance. The kick goes long down inside forward 50. Nick Yarran involved again, but Driscoll a bit tidier this time, picks up and kicks down the centre of the ground, but Ryan Smith comes in, chops it off, works past an opponent, hand passes across to Paredes in some space. He chips it to half forward. Tedcastle on the end of this one, and just read that ball well as it drops short coming in, and he takes the mark about 45 out, pretty much directly in front, and going back pretty slowly and purposefully. Obviously thinks that he's got the distance in him here, and he's going to take the shot at goal. He'll be kicking from just about the 50-metre line, I would think. So comes in now, kicks on the way. It's high towards the goal line. The players are clapping. He's got that easily. It's cleared the fence over the back, so it's not much size to him, but he's got a powerful kick, and that's a terrific set shot finish. And wow, Saints have just jumped out of the blocks in this second quarter, haven't they, Colleen? Oh, absolutely. And yeah, he hardly looked like he kicked that, did he? And beautiful kick. The rebound came from Ryan Smith. He rebounded back in. Seasoned ruckman, showed a bit of agility there too, Stu. Yeah.
It all started from him. Just composed, made sure he hit a target up, and that's what you want from your ruckman. Yeah, and positioned himself well, read it as the ball came out, and so up again. Smith wins this hit out. The ball drops at his feet. Gallows in there, does well to get the hand pass across to Josiah Farah. Joe Farah kicks deep into the forward line, but this one's chopped off in defence by Sam Holner down there. He switches to the outer side of the ground, and Jellyman Turner gets it back into Gallus. Gallus takes the mark, plays on straight away and goes wide again to the outer side, and Saints have got numbers out there. It's Lockie Taylor on the end of this one. He plays on inboard now and goes long, looking for Calder down there. Tedcastle has a fly from behind, and the ball spills out here. Well done down there by Maney for Southern Districts. He kicks straight down the middle of the ground. In the marking contest there for Districts was Bull, but works out to Ganley in the end. He floats a kick down towards half forward, and Holner uses his strength well to work his opponent out of the ball. Got the hand pass across to Jellyman Turner, who chips out wide to Dylan Lant. And Lant looking to swing back inboard on the left foot, and in fact switches across to the centre of the ground where Kieran Parnell's run down from defence.
He plays on with the handball now. It's not the best. It went behind Gallus, but he was good enough to get a long hand pass across to Lockie Taylor. He runs down inside 50, swings back around into the corridor, but hooked his kick as his shot for goal went left. And maybe the breeze is favouring that end a bit, Colleen. They're getting a fair bit of distance with their kicks that way.
Yeah, I was just looking at that. It certainly seems to be an advantage kicking to the right here, to the non-scoreboard end.
Yeah, so to the rural end.
Yeah, the rural end. I'm not sure what I call it, but you know, I find here that's generally the scoring end.
Yeah. So Districts with the opportunity now here. Luke Smith chips it in, but Braxton Ahmad in front this time takes the mark, and he's looking to switch across to the outer side of the ground where he's got Gallus in a bit of space. He plays on straight away, looking for Labastida just inside the centre square. Chips it out wide now. He's got Braith Hodges running, and Hodges takes the mark, plays on straight away, chips it to Paredes. Geez, they're finding some space now, and Paredes plays on straight away, chips the kick. He was all off balance almost as he kicked it, and Calder picks up nicely, swings towards goal, but just offline. But gee, the Saints players finding some space down the outer side of the ground then, and pretty much uncontested football coming in, which we didn't really see at all in the first quarter. So there's a free kick here in the marking contest, goes against Xavier Vallejo, and Luke Smith will take the free kick at half-back for Southern Districts. And not sure which way to go, and in the end goes down the line. Ganley has a leap, and coming from behind for Districts was Kaya Jones, but just couldn't take the mark, and the ball spills over the boundary line for a throw-in.
It's a dangerous time at the moment for Districts, Stu. They've really got to make sure they stay in the contest. It doesn't take much for a change in the dynamics of the game. If your work rate declines 1 or 2%, a team like St Mary's will make you pay.
Yeah, absolutely. So from that stoppage, Lank gets a clearance, just hacked it onto the boot, but Michael Bowden read it and took the mark, and then a beautiful kick forward finds Josiah Farah just on the wing here on the grandstand side, but there's not much happening for him forward. He kicks now looking for the big fella Harry McGuinness, but good defensive work coming across by Geordie Cullen there. Got his hand to the ball and forced it at stoppage. So, yeah, McGuinness looked like he's going to run onto that, get his hands to it, but some good desperate defence.
Yeah, all he could really do was go for a safety kick down the line. There wasn't a lot on for him.
So, boundary throw in. It's Tower doing the ruck work down to Lant on the right foot. He's non-preferred. He swings the ball, and Salmon just got his hand to the ball on the line before it went out on the full, I think. So touched over for a boundary throw in, and Salmon's been pretty busy early in this game, Colleen.
Yeah, he's had a real impact on the game. They really need to tighten up on him.
So from the stoppage, Connor Bowden kicks forward for Districts down towards half forward, but plenty of Saints players back there, and I think it was Brown was caught with the ball, and almost a one-handed hand pass. He was penalised, and it falls into the hands of Williams, who chips forward. He's looking here for Ross, who got the hand pass over the top, but gee, they've made a mess of that one down there, and Saints defenders get back and work it through for a rush behind. Real opportunity gone begging there.
I would think that Matty Cannard's head would be in his hands at the moment. That was an opportunity.
So Saints in the meantime brought it down out to the wing. Lockie Taylor gets it to Labastida, picked it up on the half volley, hand pass back to Taylor, who kept running and kicked straight down the middle of the ground, and there's that man again, Salmon. He's just really working hard from half forward and up the ground, and he's worked back across half forward and got on the end of that one and taken the mark, and he'll go back for a set shot. He'll only be 35 metres or so out, pretty much directly in front.
Yeah, Saints are just getting the space. I don't think their running is far superior at this stage of the game. Districts just look like following. They're a bit reactive at the moment. And the only... he
kept that low.
He kept that very low.
And Districts defenders claiming that they got a hand to the ball down there.
I'm surprised it just didn't hit him in the head. It was that low.
Yeah, that's right. It certainly wasn't the best of kicks coming in. Luke Delahaye it was down there, who was on the last line, and from here to me it looked like he was inside the field of play when he got his hand to the ball, but the goal umpire not sure, and calling from assistance from the boundary umpires who sit on the behind posts, of course, for set shots coming in, and I think we've got the right decision in the end. Touched through for a behind is what they've come up with, and that's fair enough, I think.
Yeah.
So Michael Bowden runs out of the square and kicks long down the wing, but Saints again set up behind. There's a blocking free kick here against Luke Smith and Jellyman Turner. Not convinced, Colleen?
No, I'm not sure that was there was any infringement there. I think that was just contested footy.
Yeah. Anyway, it's Jellyman Turner who plays on now and goes long and high, looking for Calder down here. Calder on the end of it takes the mark. He's just inside the forward 50 taking this mark. He's having a look around to see if there's any options out by the boundary line. There's not much on offer for him, so he'll go back and either take the set shot or look to set it up at the top of the goal squares.
We've got a nice shot at this one.
Yeah.
Stu, right behind him.
So hooks around, kicks long. I don't think that's going to come back far enough, but fell just short. Salmon was in there again, couldn't take the mark, and off hands it went through for a behind. And Bowden brings it in quickly to the outer side of the ground, but Lockie Taylor's read it beautifully and chips in there in front of Jackson Breed and takes the mark. And he's still inside forward 50 out there, so just some untidy work from Southern Districts as they're trying to work the ball out of defence. And Lockie Taylor now plays on, kicks long towards goal, but again hooked it. So the damage not as bad as it could be for Southern Districts. Saints have had quite a few shots and missed a number this quarter, but just let them off the hook a little bit.
Lockie Taylor's suddenly coming into the game. He's getting off the lead, and so I think that goes back to what we were saying. They've just dropped their work rate. They've really got to tighten up on some of these damaging players.
So Jellyman Turner picks that one up off the ground, off the back of the pack, and Paredes chips the ball in towards the full forward line, and Ted Castle this time in front of the pack reaches up and takes the mark overhead, and I think in the last 12 months he's put on a bit of size, Colleen, height and weight. I think he's looking pretty strong and a bit taller.
I didn't recognise him because he's definitely put a little bit of bulk on.
Yep.
He's still a pretty slight sort of player, but he's certainly added a bit of height and a bit of bulk, and that will certainly add to his game.
Yeah, and as we were talking then, he's kicked that goal with no problem from about 30 out directly in front, and so Saints another goal, and that's Ted Castle's second in a row, and they've really dominated this second quarter so far.
Yeah, I think Southern Districts by any means aren't out of this game. There's 5 goals in it at this stage. They've just really got to tighten up, make St Mary's work for everything, and it'll turn. You've just got to put the pressure on and make them have second thoughts about their disposal, and things change. You've just got to work for it.
Yeah, the worrying thing has been that Saints have found space and got players out free, so they've got to work harder defensively, I think. So, but here's an opportunity for them to go forward. Dylan Barry now runs onto it, hand passes over the top. It's a long loopy handball, and he receives it back, but the kick down the line is just too close to the boundary line and really didn't give him much chance from out there, and Harry McGuinness sees it over and another boundary throw in. Yeah,
what does Matty Cannard do? Look at changing it up a bit. Certainly Michael Bowden's dominating in the back line. Is there enough pressure from the other players? I'm sure they're mulling this over at the moment so the game doesn't get away from them.
So Brown running onto it there for St Mary's, but couldn't keep the ball in, and we'll have another boundary throw in. Saints worked it about 20 metres further towards their end of the ground, but still in Southern Districts attacking half at this stage. Smith and Gallo jostling for front position. Gallo gets there, gets his hand to the ball, and then picks it up himself, throws it on the left boot, and it's lobbed just inside the boundary line. So a third boundary throw in from a pretty similar area out here. So I think Saints would be happy with that. Just clog it up, and they've got that 30-odd point lead. So
yeah, just inches.
Yep.
I guess.
Yep. So Gallo and Smith wrestle again. Ball comes to Brown. It was almost scooped up there. Play on's the call, and Brown's in there for Saints. Barry thought he'd kept it in, but just carried it over the boundary line, and a boundary throw-in again. So not much happening in the last few minutes here. Just some boundary throw-ins and a bit of contested footy.
So Ryan Smith not happy with the umpire's call. He feels like he's been infringed on by Patrick Gallo. We'll see what happens this time.
Yeah, the day Ryan Smith's happy will be a blue moon, I would think. But anyway, we're in the action again.
You know his mother might be watching.
Yeah, well, she's a wonderful woman, of course.
No, he's a character, Smithy, and he's brought a lot to the game of NTFL.
He's a competitor, that's for sure.
Competitor.
And he's been a stalwart for Saints for quite some time now.
He's done a bit of coaching with the juniors too, and
it's been terrific.
The girls and NT sides. He's done a lot for footy, and it would be interesting to see how many more years Sauce has got left in him.
So he thumps this one from that ruck contest and gives his players the opportunity to run onto it. Yaron picks it up, hand passes over the top. Ted Castle's involved again. His jumper was pulled, and he gets the free kick eventually. And it goes against Michael Bowden this time.
Took a while to call that one, Stu.
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah.
I thought it was. Thought it wasn't going to be.
Thought he got away with it.
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah.
But,
not much in it, but technically it's an infringement.
So this one's a high floater towards half forward, and in the marking contest there.
A lot of high balls today, Stu.
Yeah, not that tidy, and Lockyer really no chance there. It was thumped away from him pretty easily by Luke Delahaye. And we've got another boundary throw in, and this time it's forward of centre for St Mary's. But yeah, pretty stagnant footy at the moment. As Gallo this time works Smith out of the contest. Labastida cleverly hand passes on the up to Dylan Lant. He kicks down towards full forward. Calder tries to juggle the mark. We've got a whistle on the play here. It's a Southern Districts free kick, and it's going back to Delahaye in defence. He's looking to the outer side of the ground. He goes very wide, but he's got Michael Bowden on the end of that one. Didn't gain much ground, but got it out wide. Bowden chips this one in, and that's not his best kick at all. And Jackson Calder's just come across and snatched that one easy as you like. Says thanks very much, and I'll have a shot for goal.
I think he's miskicked that, Stu.
Yeah, definitely.
He'd be pretty angry with himself, knowing Michael. Yeah,
just kicking off balance a bit, I think, and just leaned back a bit, and Calder chipped in and took an opportunistic mark, and now he'll have a set shot for goal. He's got a couple already, and kicks on its way, and I think he's just snuck it inside the left-hand post. He has, so makes Bowden pay for that mistake, and the goal scoring's been all St Mary's way, 4-0 in this quarter, and stretching that lead now out to 42 points.
Let's say, is that Calder's third for the game?
It is his third, yep. 2 in this quarter, so yeah, he's a focal point up there. So obviously his turn this week. It was Lockyer who was their main goal scorer last week, but yeah, it's a pretty good combination to have forward. You can see their setup here from this stoppage. Both of them are deep forward, and everyone else is right up at half forward, so giving them as much space as they can.
Yeah.
So Smith jumps at this one, gets his hand to the ball. It looks like he got a poke in the eye or something that time, and we're going to have a restart here. He'll have to get back into the action pretty quickly. I think he looks all right, and he's coming around now. Takes front position, wins the hit out, but Farah was on the end of it, got the kick forward. Labastida underneath it, had it punched away from him. Punch forward by Luke Smith for Districts, and again, plenty of pressure on the player who takes possession of the ball, and Kieran Parnell rewarded this time.
Not a lot of prior opportunity there, but
again, St Mary's have got free players out the back, and Paredes takes advantage of that, takes the mark, plays on. Yaron runs onto it off the marking contest, snaps with the left foot, and they all like it. It's through for another goal for St Mary's, and yeah, just from the stoppage, Saints broke fastest. Districts didn't go with them. They had free players in the middle of the ground, and when the ball hit the ground, Nicky Yarran was there and did the rest.
It's nice to have a player like Nicky Yarran. You can pretty much put him anywhere, can't you? He's very handy in the back line. He kicks goals like that, and you throw him on the ball and he's equally as good. He's a real utility, and been playing for St Mary's for a lot of years and been a very handy player for the St Mary's Football Club.
And another one I think that's probably had almost his best season for Saints this year, and he plays hard in and under, but also runs out wide, and a really handy player.
One of those players you probably don't see him play a bad game.
Yeah,
he's very consistent, has an impact.
So Districts win this clearance, but Kieran Parnell across half-back for Saints again, keeps the ball in front of himself, now tries to hand pass over the top, but Bo Schwartz chops this one off, gets it to McGuinness, and quick hands there to Bull. Bull on the left foot, floats it forward, but Braith Hodges back there gets a hack kick out of there. Jonathan Ross on the end of it, couldn't pick it up cleanly. Dylan Lant does for St Mary's, finds himself a little bit of space, goes through the hands down there to Zach Robinson, and eventually Saints work it out to Labastida, and Labastida takes a mark. He chips in short to Jellyman Turner. He steps off his mark now, called to play on, kicks under pressure. Yarran's at the end of this one, floats a kick forward, but Calder's found plenty of space, and just the quick ball movement has caught Southern District's defenders out again, and Calder worked back, found himself some space, and all Yarran had to do was chip it over the top and hit him on the chest.
Well, St Mary's are by far the fastest spreading team in the competition. As soon as they gain possession, they go. And you've really got to be on your ball. You've got to be able to keep with them and anticipate where they're going. They're so good at it. And as you saw there, St Mary's Districts really were left trailing.
Yeah, exactly right. And gee, that's an unusual miss for Calder from pretty close range on a set shot. So a let off there for Districts, but they really need to start getting the ball in hand and having an impact on the scoreboard to get themselves back into this game. They've scored, I think, one behind for the quarter so far. So the ball's brought in towards the near side, but again, Saints have got some numbers here, and from the marking contest, the ball's rushed out of bounds by Alex Johnston here, and a boundary throw in once again. Gee, we've had a few of them this quarter.
We have. Pretty much the play's been right in front of the commentary box, Stu. I've been very happy.
That's better than over the other side of the ground, that's for sure. We can see half the players over there.
Us oldies can't see over there.
So Toa doing the ruck work, taps it forward. Dylan Barry read it best for Districts, did really well, got the hand pass forward here to Smith. Smith chips it inboard, and that's nicely done. Bo Schwartz takes the mark. He switches the ball to the outer side where he's got Michael Bowden running. Labastida's trying to chase him down as Bowden drops the mark and really puts himself under some pressure. Labastida does some terrific work out there, taps the ball in front of himself, had his jumper pulled in the end, and gets the hand pass off quickly to Paredes, who's got Dylan Lant forward in some space. Lant takes the mark, plays on, kicks long towards goal. Looking down there for the big fella in Lockyer, but just a little bit too far for him. Got his hand to it, but went through for a behind. And again, a let off for Districts as Saints ran the ball forward in some space. And Driscoll just waltzes out of the goal square now, has a bounce and kicks wide to the outer side of the ground. Looking out there for Jones, but St Mary's just wrapped him up, and the kick comes back inboard, and Zach Robinson takes the mark, chips straight up the middle of the ground. Oh, Toa took his eyes off the ball, and fortunately for him, he had some support through Hodges, who picked up, drives the ball forward, looking for Lockyer, goes through his hands, slips over the back. Driscoll comes in to tidy up, but his hand pass only went to Lockyer. Lockyer on the outside of the boot, if you don't mind, from only about 10 metres out, but gee, it was clever work. Had to duck round a couple of players and took it off the loose handball from Driscoll again, and Lockyer on the board again.
He's just the excitement machine. I just love watching him play. His elevation is incredible. He's so athletic, and
yep, and he's good at ground level as well, and clever player.
He played. I think he trained with Essendon at one stage,
and that's right.
It just shows, there's such a fine line between playing at the highest level and not, because you have a look at this player, and he really ticks every box. He's an incredibly fit player, and really his athleticism is just through the roof.
Yep, and one of those players that travels up from Alice Springs to play, of a multiple premiership player in Alice Springs, and
he could probably run from Alice. Have a look at him.
Yeah.
No, he's just that's the sort of player you come to watch.
Yeah, absolutely right. Or stay at home and watch on the screen with commentary from us, Colleen.
Yeah, thank you for correcting me there, Stu.
So Saints again with the clearance as the siren goes, and that ends the second quarter. A quarter really dominated by St Mary's. They kicked something in the order of 6 goals, 8 to just the one behind. But yeah, Southern Districts, the game's almost out of their reach. But you know, it's only round 12, and they've got to work on things for the rest of the season. And we said it was an important game for them coming in. They sit in 5th spot at the moment, and they'll hold that going into Christmas regardless, but they'd want to go in with a bit of form from the second half, you would think, Colleen.
Yeah, absolutely. We close off here to the long break half-time with the Crocs 2-14 trailing Saints 10-10-70. We'll see you for the second half. Welcome back to Norbuilt Oval. You're watching AFLNT's coverage of the 21-22 TIO NTFL season. And we've got a game on here between the Southern Districts and St Mary's, and I have with me Stu Davis. Stu, there is the score doesn't look pretty for the Crocs, but we heard Matty Cannard, the coach, at half-time, and he's definitely not happy with his team at half-time, and maybe we might see a different Districts team come out for the third quarter.
Yeah, certainly trying to get a message through, and I might have been trying to get the message through to everyone in the crowd as well from what we heard. But yeah, look, completely outplayed in that second quarter, and Saints have been pretty impressive, but I think they've been allowed to be pretty impressive as well. So Crocs have got a lot of work to do coming into this second half, and straight away they're certainly keen on the tackle, but given away the free kick. Joe Farah's not happy with the decision, but Paredes stands up and gets a hand pass to Hodges, running off half-back. Runs through the centre of the ground, kicks long down to full forward. Driscoll gets there, double fist that one away towards the goal line. Calder comes in, picks it up and snaps a goal, and wow, yeah, exactly right, Colleen. Driscoll was there unopposed, really, and should have just snapped that one up, shouldn't he? But
certainly Driscoll could have just marked that. You wonder how much talk there is out there, and then the ball to then fall into the hands of Calder, the leading goal kicker. Yeah, that's pretty dangerous.
Well, Calder's his direct opponent, so he's just sagged off him and run back to the goal line, and no other Districts players back there to put pressure on him. So yeah, very disappointing start. But anyway, Saints up and running again, and they'd be pretty happy with their form going into Christmas at this rate. But just looking for Districts to put some sort of pressure back on them now. Certainly the first quarter was contested footy, and we thought we had a real contest on our hands, but one-way traffic since then, and they've got a free kick here, so an opportunity advantage is played, and Smith takes that advantage, kicks inside forward 50 and finds Jonathan Ross on the lead in the forward pocket. So maybe this is an opportunity to kickstart something of a comeback for Southern Districts.
This is where we need Ross. We need him down here kicking goals. He's one of the leading goal kickers. He's been on song this season. He's a bit far up the ground in the first half of the game.
So kicks on the way. That's just pushed it right, unfortunately for Districts, and are behind only. So Saints looking to reload here through Armat. He went to go to the outer side, but then changed his mind, and Taylor spills an easy mark, but he's got time to pick it up and recover. He goes high down here, and that's not to the advantage of his teammates at all, and the mark's taken down there by Bousted. And Bousted has got players shouting at him to give to, but they're all pretty stationary, and decides to go long in the end. Hodges leaps over the top and punches, and good hands from Jellyman Turner off to Taylor. Salmon flicks the hand pass over the top looking for Jellyman Turner, but Bousted came in and made the contest, and now Alex Johnson just reefs it out of the pack and gets a hand pass, and now Districts have got some go forward through Barry. He hand passes, but just didn't help his teammate much there, and it's Rowlands who's involved a couple of times with a couple of touches, back through Maney and back to Rowlands. Hand passes out looking for Michael Bowden, but everything looks to be in panic mode at the moment. But District's still working the ball forward, and Luke Smith caught with the ball out there, and eventually he has tackled and disposed of it incorrectly. But yeah, they were working the ball, but gee, the Saints' pressure was good.
Yeah, the pressure's certainly causing... causing some errors out there, Stu.
Yeah, well, the switch kick there wasn't good from Saints, and now Farah looks like he's got plenty of energy to start this third quarter, and ducks one way, back the other, kicks inside forward 50. Williams couldn't take the mark. Parnell tied it up, hand passed off to Yaron, who chips up looking for Rioli. He goes by hand outside to Paredes, and Paredes back to Rioli, and Rioli running now through the centre of the ground, has a bounce. Kicks a wobbling kick forward looking for Calder, but wasn't his best kick, and Driscoll chopped that one off on the bounce and has a bounce coming out of defence. Kicks better this time to Ganley, and Ganley just over the top of Paredes there in a bit of space. He's looking to switch the ball, but again it's not a good option, and Dylan Lant chops it off for Saints. Goes high, looking for Smith at half forward. He plays on straight away with a hand pass. Robinson over the top to Taylor. Taylor swings around, kicks high to the top of the goal square. It's thumped away in defence by Southern Districts out towards the boundary line and goes over, and it'll be a boundary throw in. But a little bit more energy from Districts, I think, at the start of this third quarter. But yeah, Saints look like they're up to it. Their defensive pressure was good.
Yeah, it looks like they've thrown their in-form player, Michael Bowden, onto the ball.
Yep.
He's getting a bit of it. It's so Matty Cannard's trying a couple things to reinvigorate his team.
Paredes from this stoppage goes on the outside of the boot, but it's gone too far across. Coulter's in there again, goes by hand to Lockyer. Lockyer picks up, snaps at goal. They're calling for it. Districts players are saying they touched it off the boot. But I'm not sure the umpire has called it that way. There's a conference here between goal umpire and field umpire. You would think it'd have to be the field umpire's call from there for it to be called touched, and hasn't called it that way. So that's a goal to Nigel Lockyer, and he's on the board again with his third. So those twin peaks up forward of Lockyer and Calder really doing some damage on the scoreboard now. They've got, well, Lockyer's got 3 and Calder's got 4 goals. So yeah, they're really effective deep forward line players for St Mary's. Yeah,
well, I guess it really does split your defenders, doesn't it, when you've got 2 focus points up forward and two players of their ability.
Well, we saw that last week. Calder was held brilliantly by the Waratah defence, and Lockyer got off the leash. So, you know, you have to be doing really well to stop both of them at once. And today they're both on, really. And Bowden in the middle of the ground got the hand pass to the big fella Gallo. He kicked straight down the middle of the ground, but strong defensive work down there by Holner. He goes straight up the ground to Labastida, who's got some space just backward of centre. He's looking at options forward, goes long, looking for Lockyer, and Lockyer just clever work to work his way to the front and take the mark. His kick wasn't the best, but it went to the advantage of his teammate there in Ted Castle, who gets past his opponent, has a bounce, hand passes over the top to Calder in the goal square, and Calder in plenty of space. Great team play again from St Mary's, and they're willing to give off to a player in a better position, and Calder's been that player a few times on the end of some loop over the top handballs, but he's also a worker when the ball comes in long and high as well, so getting some reward for the work that he's doing. But good work again by Ted Castle. Yeah, they've got plenty of options, don't they, Saints? Whenever they've got ball in hand, they've got options of plenty, whereas Districts, they're under pressure, they're making unforced errors. And like you said, Stu, they look panicky. Yeah. They've just got to try and play the game on their merits. Like, try and slow it down, try and slow St Mary's game down, get possession of the ball, keep possession of the ball, and just start from scratch. So from the ruck contest, there's a holding free kick, and it's going the way of Dylan. Paredes it is who'll take the free kick. Just runs off and chips the ball down, looking for Yaron. Yaron spills the mark off his chest, but recovers well. Hand passes back to Paredes, who kept running. He kicks inside forward 50. Calder's bundled out of the way, but illegally, according to umpire Andrew Modra, and Jackson Calder will take the free kick. So we were just trying to think who's missing from this district side that might have made a difference for them, and there probably are a few. Yeah. We saw Charlie McAdam on the sideline, and we mentioned McQueen and Rusker, and we see that their captain, Dean Staunton, is the runner now. He's been out for a few weeks with a broken hand, so, you know, there's some quality players not playing, but that Matt Cannard wouldn't take that as an excuse for this performance today. No, I just they just seem to be very stationary, flat-footed. Reactive, I would say, reacting to what St Mary's are doing, where they've got to get the ball on their terms and play the game on their terms. So Calder's kick was touched on the line through for a behind, and now Districts coming out of defence. Bo Schwartz takes the mark over in front of the scoreboard and just slows it up, chips the pass forward, and another chip forward that looked like a bit vigorous attempt to spoil the ball, and that's the way it's been seen. So it's a free kick for a push in the back, and it's pretty hard to pick up the players over the far side of the ground, but might be Dylan Barry, I think it is, yeah. So
yeah, it's Dylan.
he chips the ball along the wing, and the mark's taken there by Luke Smith on the outer wing for Southern Districts. So they're just building here. Another short pass to Bowden, as you said, just keeping possession of the ball.
I don't mind this.
Yep.
No, this is what they have to do. They've got to change the tempo of the game.
But the kick going inside forward 50 wasn't good again, and Braxton Armat has chopped that one off with a mark across half back. Chips the ball out wide. This is where Districts need to work, picking up these loose players coming out of defence, and Labastida has taken that mark uncontested backward of the centre wing. He drills the ball along close to the boundary line, and it's picked up out there by Smith, who brings the ball back into the middle of the ground. Mark almost taken there by Breed, but spilt, and now Dylan Lant gets on the end of a hand pass, kicks long to Calder, running onto the ball inside forward 50. He's looking to play on quickly. He's got players running towards goal. Lockie is one of them. Takes the mark, hand passes across to Ted Castle, and that's probably a just outcome. Ted Castle's given a couple off today, and he got on the end of that one himself. So again, unselfish footy down there by St Mary's. Any one of those could have had a shot at goal, Calder, Lockyer, but eventually they worked it across to Ted Castle, and Saints have opened the third quarter the way they went through the second quarter. So I think by my calculation, that's the last 11 goals have been kicked by St Mary's in this game. So.
Yep, your calculation's correct. Yeah. That looked like a training run.
Yeah,
almost.
Absolutely.
But you know, Districts have just got to find to get something out of this game, and whether that's to try something new, knowing that the break's coming up, we go into the business end of the season. I'm not sure, but.
So Jones was up high, won that hit out for Southern Districts, but they couldn't take advantage of it, and now the free kick's against them in the centre of the ground. It's going to Dylan Lant, who's had plenty of the football today, and he chips this one out to Jellyman Turner, who's run forward. He drills the pass inside forward 50, but it's punched away by the District's defence. Ganley comes in, takes possession nicely, gets the hand pass back, and Maney chips the ball out, looking here for Elder, but the ball was punched away from him and over the boundary line. Disciplined defence by Saints, and they'll go back and reset from the boundary throw-in stoppage. So the second line ruckman in action for both sides here. Jones gets to the front, wins a hit out. Paredes was there first, couldn't take it cleanly. He's now tackled with the ball on the ground. He's wrapped up by Ganley in the tackle, and he's going to be penalised, and that's fair enough. He dragged it in, and Ganley has probably been one of District's better players today. Takes the free kick, but just as you say that, his kick's chopped off by Dylan Lant, and gee, how often does that happen today? Lockyer down forward, juggles the mark, not paid. Calder comes in, picks up, snaps around the corner over his shoulder, straight through for a goal. And when you're getting goals on the second effort after the first one's failed, it shows you that the defence isn't working hard enough. So, opportunistic down there, Jackson Calder, and he's kicked 3 goals this quarter already, so he's having a day out with 6 on the board already. Yeah,
they just outplayed there, Stu.
Yeah. Yep, and just how many times have Saints intercepted the ball from Southern Districts? So whether it's just slow movement or their players forward of the ball aren't anticipating properly, but Saints have been all over them in that regard.
Yeah, I think Saints have got that better starting positions.
Yeah.
They're reading the ball better. They're working harder.
So Ganley with the clearance for Districts, hooked it round to half forward, and ball's trapped inside there. Gallus making the tackle for Saints, and we'll have another stoppage at half forward for Southern Districts. Ball makes its way out the back. Hodges in there got tackled high as he tried to pick up the ball. Ganley thought it was his free kick, tried to take the advantage, but it's going the other way rightly, and Braith Hodges takes the free kick and clears the ball to the outer side of the ground where Paredes is in space again. He marks, plays on quickly, has Salmon in space forward of centre. Salmon kicks wide, and on the bounce Tedcastle picks it up, kicks back inside looking for Salmon again. He gets bumped out of the way. Shannon Rioli comes in to help, picks up, swings the kick around. The mark's taken by Paredes. He tumbles a kick forward and just dribbles it through for the goal with no one in front of him from about 30 metres out. And gee, that's disappointing from the District's defence again.
Young Braith Hodges is having a ripper game.
Yeah.
I think he's on the half back line at the moment. He would have probably just flown in from Melbourne. He's going to university down there doing medicine. And the son of Andrew Hodges, who is a well-known football icon in the Territory. He's a premiership coach with Wanderers, NT Thunder coach, and certainly is responsible for a lot of the great talent that we have running around the Territory with the work that he did with NT Thunder and our talent program. So g'day Hodgie.
Yeah.
If you're watching, you're probably here watching your son play, but he's playing a ripper game, so I'm no doubt you'll be very happy.
So Michael Bowden wins that clearance for Southern District. District's getting clearances this quarter, but not making the most of it. But Dylan Barry this time kicks long towards full forward. Ross nudges his opponent under the ball, and but then just couldn't get his hands on it in the end. And Matt back there for Saints. The ball comes loose out here to Rowlands. He's caught with the ball, but eventually the hand pass comes across. Rowlands is in the action again. He makes the tackle on Paredes as Parnell comes in to assist, but District's another opportunity here. But gee, they're tackled as soon as they take possession down in that forward line, and the hack kick out of defence by Geordie Cullen straight down the middle of the ground. Shannon Rioli working there, gets to the front now and picks up the ball beautifully, evades a couple of players, and then goes straight down the middle of the ground looking for big Ryan Smith. He takes a mark, loops the hand pass over the top to the running Dylan Lant. Lant runs through half forward, kicks long towards goal, and it's going all the way. 4 are behind, just missed to the left-hand side.
How good's Dylan Lant, eh?
Oh, yeah, fantastic.
Very balanced player, and he's just always...
but just runs and runs and gets to where the ball is. So you see him here, he's going to be standing the mark here, so still working, but the mark taken out here by Bowstead. He chips the ball inboard, but unfortunately the mark was spilt there by Bailey, but he managed to get back into the contest and get a hand pass back, but Saints again have worried their opponents out of the ball and just working the ball through the hands, but a bit too smart that time, and they lost control. But Geordie Cullen takes a mark coming off half back, chips into Jellyman Turner forward, and Jellyman Turner kicks inside the corridor long towards full forward. The ball's punched away. Tedcastle's going to be there first for Saints, hooks the ball around the corner towards goal. It's going all the way, I think. It has gone all the way through for a goal, and gee, they've got some weapons up forward, Colleen.
Oh, that's an incredible goal, and no one's even celebrating it. That's one of the best goals I've seen this year. Tedcastle's on fire down there, and he's really coming into the game, and he does look good, doesn't he? He looks very fit, and he's got a bit more size about him. So, they're just dominating everywhere. Continuing to run. They've just got options. Districts just really got their head down, and they like I said before, they still need to get something out of this game. They need to try and play it on their terms, try and slow it down, change the tempo of the game.
So 7 goals for the quarter for Saints, and Tedcastle's got himself 4 on the board for the match as well, and that man Dylan Lant gets another clearance for Saints. He's looking for Lockie Taylor out here. He's under some pressure from Robert Bull though. And Bull wins this time, loops the hand pass over the top. Alex Johnston hand passes on the way up, and it comes through the hands to Gallo. But again, they're under pressure every time. Now Bowden's got a bit of space, delivers the ball forward, and that's a good kick and finds kick. Ross on the lead. Ross plays on quickly out in front of the big fella in Lee Williams, and he takes a diving mark in front of Braxton Armat. Just a good-looking player, but someone that we haven't seen enough of, mainly because Districts haven't been able to get the ball into some areas for him to get his hands on it, but he's kicking from basically outside the boundary line here as the kick's on the way. Looks pretty good. It's going across the face and off the hands. It's forced through for a behind. So yeah, he's one of their goal kickers from the first quarter, but as I said, they just haven't been able to get it in his hands enough. So Parnell chips the ball out wide to Hodges in the back pocket from the kick in, and Hodges looking to go wide again. Smith's out there. He's gets the ball knocked away in the marking contest, and District's looking to work the ball back inside through the corridor. Jones, nice pass in, but gee, the confidence has just gone from Districts, hasn't it? A simple mark dropped. But they work well, get it back into the hands here of the big fella McGuinness, and he gets a goal.
He miskicked that.
Yeah, it was an untidy looking kick going forward, and he'd spilt the mark before that, but to his credit, he kept working, stayed in the contest and got on the end of the hand pass in the end, and finally Districts get another goal on the board, and that's his second for the day. That's
the first goal since the first quarter.
Yeah.
Yeah, look, they've just got to keep plugging away, keep some belief. You can see their confidence is down. There's some definitely a lot of errors creeping in. So, you know, just some small wins is what they need to do before the break, and then after the Christmas break, come out and start again.
Yeah, that's right. So, I mean, they're in the top 5, so they're around the place. They're in the running to play finals footy, and they've just got to work towards that.
Oh, look, Districts have been around about. They've got a good list.
Yep. And they've brought Juniors into the side, so you know, bodes well for them going forward. But they've just got to be in the here and now at the moment as Rowlands kicks forward, and again that's a good kick, and the big fella Lee Williams got out into some space in front, and the kick was good. And if you can get it out in front, he can get his big mitts up and take the grab, and just gives him something to aim at. So. Moving the ball quickly is the answer, isn't it?
Yeah, just the numbers around the ball. Both entries are up. So St Mary's have had big numbers around the ball. Districts are getting the numbers around the ball, and they should be rewarded. But unfortunately, he's missed that one, Stu.
Again, and it's been a bit of an Achilles heel for him since he's been in Darwin. His goal kicking hasn't been the greatest, but. Saints working it out of defence now. Zach Robinson takes that mark in the back pocket, chips along the wing. He's actually kicked it in between his two teammates, but Lockie Taylor picks it up on the bounce, and that's a good pass looking for Jellyman Turner. He looked to play on and got caught and slung after he got rid of the ball, according to the umpire.
Yeah, it's
Ganley doesn't like it, but that's the way it is. And
that's there for a reason, that rule.
Yeah, that's right.
It's a dangerous tackle.
So he chips in short here to Lockyer, who's a long way up the ground on the wing. But he's going in short looking for Labastida, who's run hard to find some space, and he chips again. That's
a blood raw, Stu, is it?
Oh, that's behind the play. So the ball will come back to Labastida as we look for Will Rowlands to be replaced on the ground. He's slow getting a replacement out there. Jamie Elder it's going to be, but Labastida indicating that he intends to kick long into the forward line. He goes close to the boundary line out here. Geordie Cullen involved and does well to recover and pick up hand pass off to Taylor. Taylor gets a quick kick forward. It's tidied up in defence by Southern Districts by Luke Smith, who hand passed and received back and then kicked out of defence, but Jellyman Turner under this one, and beautiful pass inboard to Labastida. He switches right across to the other side of the ground where Kieran Parnell's run through the centre square from defence. He runs off, takes a bounce, hand passes forward to Zach Robinson. He hand passes back to Parnell, who kicks out wide looking for Calder. Sliding attempt at the mark, couldn't take it, and now it's Southern Districts working the ball through the hands out of defence, but that's just a blind kick out of defence, and Labastida's chopped that one off pretty easily. Switches the ball here, looking for his teammate Holner, who was under some pressure but recovered well, and now kicks it along towards full forward, and Geordie Cullen coming in from the side takes the mark on the second grab in front of the pack, and he'll go back and have a set shot for goal from 25 or 30 metres out. So a good mark there. Calder was coming in, but Cullen read it well, coming in from the side. and the ball just dropped where he had positioned himself, cutting across the front. So Cullen kicked a couple of important goals last week, not on the scoreboard so far this week, and he's got an opportunity now with the set shot. Kick looks good. His teammates are clapping straight through, so after District's got the previous goal, Saints back on the board again, and Geordie Cullen this time. So yeah, a really impressive display from St Mary's today out here at Norbuilt Oval, where they do tend to play pretty well historically. St Mary's, they've had some good results out here when Southern Districts have been a strong side. Yep. St Mary's, as you were saying off air, Colleen, are always a strong side.
Yeah,
but they keep showing up, don't they, year after year? So
they do. I can't remember. I think it probably be 15 years ago that they would have probably finished the bottom half of the ladder.
No, actually about 3 or 4 years ago they finished bottom. I mean, they won 5 or 6 games, but
that's right.
But they quickly turned that around and played in the next couple of grand finals. But anyway, they're right in the mix again this season, of course. And there's a holding free kick, and gee, I don't know if that was the best option to take the advantage there when a set shot could have been had. And again, just signs of panic, isn't it? The big fella Harry McGuinness has kicked a couple of goals. He had a free kick and within range, and Luke Smith just tried to take on some players and take the advantage, but not what was called for, I don't think.
I think that's what I'm saying about trying to change the game.
Yeah.
They don't need to play that sort of game.
So Saints have worked the ball out of defence. Toa almost took it one-handed over the top. Shannon Rioli with
bit of toe there from 200 plus games from Mr. Rioli.
And kicked it off the side of his boot intentionally out there to Paredes, who again found some space, had a couple of bounces. Yaron down there couldn't take the mark, and Districts work it out of defence, and Jackson Breed down here has a little bit of space and chips the ball forward, but it's not the best kick, and Parnell's come up and off his player and read that well and chopped it off. Hand passed across to Toa, who kicks inboard to Salmon, and Salmon looking to move the ball on quickly, but hasn't seen anything he likes so far. Now chips the ball in looking for Calder, but Districts have worked back in numbers, and the mark's taken there by Ganley again for Southern Districts. He switches the ball to Michael Bowden, who goes further afield, and they've got some runners here, but the siren beats them as they try to make another forward entry, and it was Jamie Elder who was on the end of that one, but the siren beat him, and another dominant quarter from St Mary's, Colleen. Yeah,
absolutely. They've got all the answers. Their pressure. I think we keep talking about Districts being a bit underdone, but you can't take it away from the pressure that this St Mary's side is placing on them. So
they're ruthless, aren't they?
Yes. 3/4 time here at Norbuilt Oval. We have St Mary's leading 18-12, 120, leading the Crocs 3-6-24. We'll be back for the final quarter shortly. So welcome back to the final quarter of NTFL's clash between the Southern Districts and St Mary's. Over to you, Stu.
Yeah, we're underway already, and Smith wins that hit out. Jellyman Turner in the middle now tries to run away from his opponent. Got tagged on the jumper, got the hand pass across, and now Dylan Lant, believe it or not, running through, getting another kick, and kicks inside forward 50. Tedcastle swamped by some Districts defenders down there, and the ball's reefed out the back. Nicky Yaron runs onto it, tried to pick up one-handed. The ball slipped out of his hands and just towed off the ground, and now Brown comes in, picks up the ball for Saints. He's tackled and slung after he got rid of the ball, and the Southern Districts supporters around us don't like that decision too much, but Brown's taking the free kick. He kicks high towards the top of the goal square. Calder down there, reaches up, almost takes it off hands.
Here we go.
It's Joseph Salmon, beautifully done, and just a real turn of speed. Read it beautifully off the hands, and left his District's opponents for dust as he ran in and kicked the open goal.
He's got some toe, hasn't he, Salmon?
Yeah. Some toe and some talent. Yeah, he's a good footballer.
Got plenty of it today.
Yeah, and we saw Nick Yaron involved there. He probably hasn't had one of his most prolific days, but certainly a player that worries the District's defence. But he's had, as we said before, he's had a very good season, and I think he's one of the players in the representative squad up for selection for the game, the Australia Day game. So rewarded for his season in that regard. Smith wins the hit out, but Ganley for Districts read it off hands and pumps the ball forward towards centre half forward. Kieran Parnell again across half back, had another good game today. Kicks out wide, and Lockie Taylor reaches out, takes that mark on the run, keeps running, kicks the ball inside forward 50. Calder on the end of this one just stretches those long arms and yeah, just grabs it at its highest and takes another terrific mark. And it's been a bit of a nightmare for Driscoll down there today, but
Driscoll's no slouch.
No, that's right. He's a good footballer,
and good footballer.
But yeah, the ball's just been coming in constantly, hasn't it?
Yeah.
And of course, Calder's a quality player and takes a strong mark and plays very tall. But comes in now, kicks from about 35 out. He might have pushed this one a little bit. No, he's just kept it inside that right-hand goalpost. So he's on the board again. He's scored goals in every quarter, and I'm losing count, but I think he might be up to about 7 now. So a terrific game again from Jackson Calder up forward.
You kicked 100 in a competition in Victoria.
Yeah.
I should know which competition, but I don't. Not many players kick 100 goals in a season. And you know they're quality forward when they can do that.
Yeah. So...
although Nick O'Reilly's trying to get him to play mixed netball at the moment. Monday night's social competition. I don't know if he's successful, but I reckon he'd be pretty handy, Mr. Calder.
So Smith hooks that one over the top. That's a good run-down tackle, but Lant managed to get his foot to the ball despite the pressure from Farah. Now the ball's stuck in and under, and Alex Johnston stands up with the ball caught underneath him, and it'll be a ball up just forward of centre for St Mary's early in this final quarter. Smith again wins the hit out. Parides on the end of it this time. Just picks up and thumps it long down to goal. And Lockyer, two-footed jump and just leapt at it, but couldn't take the mark, unfortunately. But ball bounced back into his hands, and he had a snap around the corner, but it was half smothered and out of bounds.
Like I said, incredible elevation. It's just off 1 or 2 steps, off he goes. He's just a high jump, I think.
Yeah, just a standing jump, that one, really, and amazing. Reminds me a bit of Will Farrer. He's a bit the same way, 2-footed jump. And so Michael Bowden out of defence, kicks down towards the boundary line here. Running onto it is Smith for Districts. He chips the ball back into the middle of the ground, and Ganley takes the mark again, runs off straight away, looking to switch the ball to the outer side of the ground. He hasn't got too much going for him. He puts it out in front of Ross, who runs onto it now and does a 360 degree, and then eventually kicks the ball inside 50 out to the advantage of Williams, who's spilt this mark, unfortunately, for Districts. Braxton Armat working hard back there, and Lockie Taylor's involved as well. Gee, he's a hard runner as well, Colleen. Lockie Taylor up and down the ground on the wing.
I've said it before, he's the most unlikely looking footballer. You look at him, but I remember him in last year's grand final.
Yep.
He's just owns that wing.
Yeah.
And he's just unorthodox but so effective.
Yeah, that's right. Tough, but
yeah.
Runs all day. So now Jones on the end of that one, but tackled as soon as he took possession, and he's been pinged. Didn't really have a lot of opportunity to get rid of that, I would have thought, but Robinson takes the free kick. And again, Saints have got free players out wide, and again it's Paredes who chips the ball down towards half forward. Ted Castle out in front of him, but Alex Johnston picks up, tries to hand pass to find a teammate, but it was chopped off, and now Salmon running onto it. His hand pass is smothered. He's still in the play, so is Ted Castle. Paredes has followed up and dives on top of the ball, and he's going to be pinged for that one. As he's tackled and the ball's trapped in. He doesn't like it much, but that was fair enough, I reckon. He's dived on that one. And Ethan Maney at halfback takes the free kick and kicks out wide, and finds his teammate there in Jonathan Ross. Ross chips the ball back inboard to Ganley, and Ganley plays on straight away, kicks long towards half forward, but Kieran Parnell just read it beautifully.
That's the kick that frustrates me. It's, you know, you're in control, you've got control of the ball. Why were they just blazing away? To pick a target out, and just keep control of the ball.
Hodges on the outer side chips the ball forward, and mark's taken out there by Labastida. He chips the ball into Paredes, who's still running, of course, and wheels around and kicks the ball inside 50. Salmon on the end of this one, takes it on the second grab. He wheels around, plays on straight away. He's got Smith in some space and Calder coming up. They had a look at each other, I think, and eventually the ball spilled out. But working in hard there was Xavier Vallejo, got the hand pass forward. Smith's got it trapped underneath him, and District's trying to work it out. Vallejo comes in and lays the tackle on Ganley. The ball spills out, and out of defence, Johnson gets a hand pass forward for Districts, but only as far as Lockyer, who picks it up. Now looking backwards, a long way backwards, and that's put a bit of pressure on Paredes, and a high leap over the top. And gee, I think he's hurt himself down there.
Yep.
Just just had his legs taken away a bit as Paredes was working back, trying to get in the marking contest, but it's all good. I think it was Jones.
That was Jones, yeah.
But he's up on his feet, and
the son of Jason Jones.
Yeah, that's right, and Braith Hodges' cousin. So yeah, small place in Darwin, but the kick comes across. Labastida under this one, but players flying in all over the place. Vallejo comes in, gets a hand pass across to Holner. Holner kicks out wide in front of Salmon. Salmon traps the ball just inside the boundary line. Kicks high. Lockyer again.
He goes again.
He's got a trampoline down there, but just can't take the marks. And Districts bring it back in quickly after it went through for a behind, and Delahaye comes straight up the middle of the ground. And the mark's taken here by Bowden. No, it's Rollins, I think.
He could be we get him in the Australian Olympic team as a high jumper. Look, incredible. That's
right. In the fourth quarter of a game in conditions like this, it is amazing. But ball trapped in there, and holding the ball is the call. Lockie Taylor hand passes off to Hodges. No, not allowed. There's a whistle behind the play. So it's going to be a free kick down the field, I think, for something that's taken place inside Southern District's forward 50 area. So Shannon Rioli's coming in pretty quickly to get his hands on the ball. No, it's going to be Lockie Taylor who'll have the free kick. So it must have been a 50-metre penalty. It's obviously something behind the play, and a non-controlling umpire at that end of the ground has called it, and 50-metre penalties paid. So Lockie Taylor now with pretty simple set shot at goal, and he makes no mistake, and just piles on the pain really for Matty Cannard and Southern Districts. Saints' 21st goal. Yeah, there's not much more you can say, is there, Colleen? It's been all one-way traffic from quarter time, really. The first quarter was a reasonably even contest, but Saints have just put the foot down and showed no mercy, and just careering away now.
Oh, just dominating in every aspect of the game,
Yeah.
Stu. Just their tackling, their work rate, their running,
Yeah.
their gut running, just continually. The pressure that they're putting on their opponent, their execution. You know, we see a lot of these airy kicks today. You know, it's mostly Southern Districts. You know, they're just kicking and hoping. That's a team under pressure.
Yep. So Labastida wins the clearance for Saints out to the near side of the ground. The ball's punched away from behind by Bousted there. Oh, diving in with Shannon Rioli. He's still involved. Gets a hand pass forward now, and Districts work it out of defence through Smith. Gallo takes the mark, hand passes off to Bowden. Connor Bowden off to Rollins. Rollins ducks back inside. Did well to evade Parnell there. Kicks it out in front of McGuinness, but it's just too far out in front, and Sam Holner could work his way across and force the ball out of bounds for another boundary throw in. So yeah, you've mentioned it a few times, but the delivery forward hasn't been great for Southern Districts, and too many times they've just bombed it forward, and Saints have been able to pick them off as the balls come in. So from the throw-in, Gallo in front wins the tap down. Dylan Barry in there is caught with the ball. Here's a high tackle, and it'll be a free kick to Luke Smith for Southern Districts. He's looking chip short, but again his kicks missed the target. Robinson drops it this time, and picked up down there by Barry, who has a shot at goal, but he's missed to the near side and are behind only. And Gallus for Saints waste no time bringing the ball back into the play to Vallejo, and back to Hodges out there. Kieran Parnell takes a mark. He chips into Gallus, who's worked up from that kick in, and now they're just chipping the ball around, and Toa this time spilt the mark, but he's got some support there, and Hodges kicks a high one. I'm not sure a mark will be paid if anyone grabbed that, but play on's the call. It's tapped forward, and now District's an opportunity through the hands, and Rollins over the top of it, couldn't control it. There's a free kick paid here, and
Holding.
Yep, Southern District's free kick, and it's Connor Bowden, in fact, who will take that free kick. That's a better kick out in front of the big fella Williams, and he takes the mark on the second grab, but it's a mark, and he'll go back and have a set shot for goal. So he's kicked only the one goal today. He's had a couple of opportunities, but
they've missed a few, haven't they?
Yeah, they have.
The ones that you want your main forwards to get.
Yeah. So Williams kicks now. It's going all the way through, and that one's cleared the fence, no problem at all, and he's on target there. So yeah, he's one of their only two goal kickers. Him and McGuinness have got 2 goals each, but yeah, just not enough. And you know, you say they've missed a few and they're 18 goals behind or something, but some of those misses were when the game was still a contest, and it sort of drains you a bit when you have those set shots that can really keep you in touch, and you see the ball go up the other end of the ground and the opposition scores a goal. So it's important to take those opportunities when you're right in the mix.
Yep, absolutely. But look, it's good to see them getting a couple of goals on the scoreboard to finish the game, and you know, they're still contesting.
Yeah. So from the restart, it's Lant who gets the hand pass up to Paredes. He chips it forward, looking there for Brown. Brown kicks long to full forward. Calder again uses his strength and just gets his opponent out. Got Driscoll out of the way, and then just controlled it with one hand really, and just held his position at the drop of the ball, and took a great mark. And
he just pushed off him, didn't he, at the right time? Yeah,
that's right. Just held his space in the drop zone, and he's kicking for his 8th goal. So another great day out for Jackson Calder. Kicks on the way, no problem whatsoever, straight through the middle, and a bit of a procession. But gee, he's received some over the top, but he's worked hard for some as well, like he did that time. And he's just just the type of player that you want down forward, and for the most part, he's a pretty accurate long kick as well. So him and Lockyer have been terrific, and of course little Ted Castle's chipped in with 4 goals as well up forward. So yeah, they've got plenty of weapons up forward to hit the scoreboard.
Absolutely, they do. And then you've got young Salmon running through and doing a bit of damage as well. So.
Yeah, and you know, and we haven't mentioned Shannon Rioli, who's had probably his best game for the season since coming back. So
yeah,
it almost looked like a free kick there. Dylan Lant was slung without the ball, and the ball will come back to him. He drills the pass, looking for Ted Castle there. It's punched away. Alex Johnson comes in and picks the ball up, but he's tackled, gets the hand pass out. Salmon's in there working as well. Ted Castle still working on the ground, lays the tackle this time on Bull. Hand pass comes out. Jellyman Turner's involved. He puts his arm up, claiming a free kick. Play on's the call as Zach Robinson hacks a kick forward. Labastida comes in and puts pressure on. He's still involved on the ground. Picked up by Dylan Lance, swings around on the left foot, kicks towards goal, and Lockyer gets on the end of this if he's marked it inside the behind line. It's going to be a conference again. Lockyer's pretty confident that he's got it. The goal umpire didn't signal anything, and the field umpire's just having a conversation with the boundary umpire. Lockyer wants to play on now.
Oh, he's missed it.
He's going to get it again though, because there's no way he was going to be able to do that. Time had been blown off, and they're still deciding whether it's a mark or a behind, and the mark has been paid in the end. And
he can have another shot now.
Yeah, he's had a practice go, and now he gets to have a shot for real. So yeah, right out wide. He is a left footer, of course.
Yep.
Swings around now, and this time he's learned his lesson.
Yeah.
Knew exactly what to do. I think he was a bit more balanced that time and took a few more steps and made plenty of space and snapped it through. So he's got a goal in every quarter as well. So yeah, terrific forward set up for St Mary's. And they get their 23rd goal on the board. So 120 points the margin now. Not at all what we expected coming here today, Colleen.
No, I actually thought this would be a close contest.
Yeah.
I really like District's list, like the way they play.
Well, they beat the reigning premiers a couple of weeks ago. Nightcliff, you know, gee, they're a hard side to follow sometimes. Yeah,
and well, this is certainly a different Districts team we see today. They just look flat.
Yeah,
and but you know that you take something out of every game.
Yep, and Ganley with that clearance kicks the ball deep inside forward 50 for Southern Districts, and Lockie Taylor is back there already getting that clearing kick out of defence, and Dylan Lant in the action again. Hand passes back to Braith Hodges, who ducks back and finds a bit of space, nice. And that's a nice pass to Xavier Vallejo out in front of the Saints coach's box. He looking to bring the ball back inside the corridor. Labastida just misses the ball on the half volley there and allows Districts the opportunity to come in and clear, but Jellyman Turner spoils that party. He's caught with the ball, and that's a good tackle.
That's a great tackle.
Yeah, good reward for the young fella Will Rowlands there, and he's kept battling as well. And he's got a player and some space out here, Michael Bowden, and that's a good pass out in front of him.
And you know, and he's been a junior with the club and come through the system, been ex-Rising Star. Yep. And a anti-Thunder junior as well.
Yep, that's right. So Gallus chips the ball to Jellyman Turner at half-back for St Mary's, just slowing things up now. He's got Braith Hodges, who takes a mark and just jogs off really, and now looking for Smith on the lead.
The big Sauce.
He takes the mark. He's had a pretty good game today.
His goes all right, doesn't he?
Yeah.
A very clever ruckman.
I think he's won the contest over Gallo for most of the day, but his kick goes forward, and Driscoll this time gets Calder out of position, but Parides in there working again. There's plenty of Districts players. Johnston hands it off to Maney, who off half-back comes down the wing and finds Michael Bowden out in front of Dylan Lant this time. He plays on, chips the ball inside 50, but working back for Saints was Sam Holner, and he switches the ball into the corridor where Shannon Rioli's found some space, and he drills the ball into the centre square, and Labastida on the end of it this time. He's got players running everywhere, ignores most of them and goes long, looking for Xavier Vallejo. Goes over his head and he runs onto it now. Hand passes back to Brown. Brown kicks long towards the top of the goal square. Driscoll, running back this time, gets a good defensive punch in on Calder and punches the ball over the line for a behind. And Districts bring it in quickly, and Smith chips it along to Bowden, who's might be playing on this wing out here at the moment. He's had a few touches in the last couple of minutes and uses the ball well there to McGuinness on the lead. Bowden keeps running forward, asking for it back, but he's being chased down by Hodges, and so McGuinness chips it and Hodges has worked back, and yeah, not a great option again, and good work by Hodges just to keep working there and get back and kill it over the line.
Been really impressed with Braith Hodges today. Getting plenty of it.
Yeah, one of the best games in senior footy that I've seen him play, I think. So that's terrific for Saints and for him. But Michael Bowden tries to hack that one off the ground. Dylan Barry overruns it, and now the ball squirts out to Paredes, who cops one across the shoulder and neck, and he'll go back and take the free kick. He looks inboard, and he's got Shannon Rioli and some space inside the centre square. He plays on straight away to big Ryan Smith, who's running forward of centre now, kicks the ball out in front of Lockyer. Lockyer has made some space, but the ball slips through his hands, and he follows up with a tackle and slung his opponent out of the way. Still fighting for the ball on the ground in there, and no one can get it out. It spills free now, and
good
strong work by Salmon. Yeah, it was good umpiring to let it go. Salmon tries to break past. His hand pass is chopped off this time, and Maney again for Districts goes straight up the middle of the ground this time, but Nick Yarran's read that one and takes the mark pretty easily. Chips the ball into Paredes, who gives off to the running Lant. Lant drills the ball forward looking for Calder. It's just out of his reach, unfortunately, and Maney comes across and sweeps the hand pass across there to Smith. Smith hand passes back again to Delahaye. Delahaye kicks wide, looking for Ganley on the outer side of the ground. He's got the ball in front of him, does well to keep the ball in front and get past his opponent. Kicks long down the wing, and Williams on the end of this takes the mark. It's a pretty open forward line if he gets the ball in quickly. He does, but slips over the top, and I think Lockie Taylor's playing in defence now, actually, and just giving him a bit of a rest, but he's still getting the football back there.
Here he goes.
He's on the end of it again, and he's got a free player out here. That wasn't where he was probably aiming, but Smith got on the end of it, and he's looking for Labastida now under pressure. Takes the mark and hand passes from laying on the ground, if you don't mind, to Jellyman Turner, and Jellyman Turner kicks long. It goes off hands to the goal line, running onto it there. Salmon! What was that? Salmon has hurdled the fence behind the goals there with the ball in hand.
That wasn't bad, was it? That wasn't bad.
It wasn't bad that he's come up without a broken leg, I think.
We've got...
Amazing. There's some athletes out there.
Oh, there is. So we've got Nigel Lockyer in the high jump, and then we've got a hurdler as well. So
Jones takes the mark and plays on here to Ross. Ross kicks long, and Holner looked to have his jumper pulled there. Pretty obviously the umpire was right on the spot, and Holner has been pretty solid across half-back for Saints today.
Yeah, he's had a good game too. I don't know if you could, there's a Saints player that hasn't. No,
that's right. Ben Brown in the middle of the ground takes the mark. He was a late inclusion today for Tyler Saunders, who couldn't get here from Owen Pelly, but...
well, his second half's been excellent.
Yeah, Brown. That's right. So Shannon Rioli this time hooks it around, but his kick's smothered. Paredes still in the contest, still working hard. He's tackled, tries to fend off a tackle, gets a kick forward. Ted Castle works his way to the front, couldn't take the mark. Plans a call. Ted Castle off the ground now. Goes across the face of goal, and that one's going to bounce out of bounds in the left forward pocket for St Mary's to the right of screen, where we've seen them kick 5 goals in this last quarter, and the siren goes to end the game, and I think Southern Districts would be pretty happy about the siren going at this stage, and so in the end it's It's a win of basically over 20 goals for St Mary's. They've been really impressive today, Colleen.
Yeah, they have. Look out to the rest of the competition because they've really they've made a statement today.
Yep.
And I think Shannon Rusker said it before at three-quarter time. He walked past and he said that this has been a reality check.
Yeah.
And when you're at the you've got a side like St Mary's that throw everything at you like they did today, it can be a little bit demoralising. You got to pick yourself up and say, righto, we're only halfway through the season. We're going all right.
Yeah.
We know we're there and abouts. We've got a good list. We've got a good structure. We've just got to pick ourselves up and regroup.
That's right. And I think that, basically going into next year, they've got to put that one out of their mind. They've got to think of some of their good performances. Like we said, they've beaten the top team. They've had some good wins, and they're still in the five. So they've got to think positively going forward now.
Yeah. Look, I guess it's Merry Christmas to everyone,
Yeah.
and we're signing off until the second half of the season in a couple of weeks. And you've been watching AFL NT's coverage of the 21-22 NTFL season from a beautiful Norbuilt Oval. Thanks, G, for your excellent
Thanks,
call
Colleen.
today. And we'll be back in a couple of weeks. Cheers.